Memories certainly need to be shared. No matter how good or bad the present is, you never want to let go of those good old days reminiscence. For me, the past beat inside me like a second heart, and I must share some and enjoy this moment of nostalgic feelings. My name is Salome Eketunde ní Ikwe-Nogba, an actress, a singer, and composer. And here is my good old days story. I'm an Ijaw-Apoi, born in Salome Eketunde local government area, Ondo State. My parents are Pa Simeon and Madam Ruth Ikwe-Nogba. My dad hailed from Salome, and my mom, Anurobo, from Kokori in Delta State. My father was a timber merchant and a classical birigo musician. My mother was a caterer and a trader. As a child in the riverine area, my main sport was swimming. My mates and I used to go to the river to swim and engage in all sorts of aquatic games. The river is central to the economy and social lives of the Apoi. The river was a source of survival and fun. We engage in subsistence farming, but we are also into weaving of mats, sacks, and other products. We also engage in fishing. Unlike nowadays, when society is divided into privileged and unprivileged classes, there was nothing like Ajebota or Ajepako in our communities. Mutual respect was the order of the day, irrespective of your social background. Children were introduced to a life of adventure and enterprise at an early stage. As early as the age of 5, Apoi, Ilaje, and Arubo children were able to paddle canoes. Male children could accompany their fathers to logging expeditions. Like other girls, I used to join my mother to hawk her articles of trade in canoes from one settlement or village to another. In commerce, by our very location, the Apois served as intermediaries between Ilaje and Ikale. Our mothers would go on land to buy food crops and foodstuff from the Ikales and travel by canoes to sell them to the Ilajes. They will use the proceeds to buy plenty of fish from the Ilajes and sell to the Ikales on their return trip on the market days. Looking back now, I believe we had our earliest apprenticeship in business from the sort of orientation given to us by our parents, something that is worthwhile but not taken seriously by this generation. Of particular significance for me was the singing that took place during the commercial canoe shuttles. There was so much flow of inspirational songs. You couldn't tell as a child where the songs came from. They just flowed, and everyone picked up her part in the series of beautiful, harmonious renditions. Thinking back with fond memories now, one particular song came to my mind. And here is it. Akikoko ni lara, ojú agbe ma gona o. Èdè yìí wé pé ó máa yé mi o akiko. Ọjọ́ mi lọ àtètè ká wá o. I believe that is the culture of singing, coupled with the fact that my father was a classical birigo musician, are major factors behind my talent as a singer and composer. There were also communal traditional festivals. The Umale festival was quite exciting. I was young, but I observed with keen interest my elder sisters who had attained puberty wearing their costumes of colorful beads. They used beads to make their skirts, their bra, and leggings, dancing and singing in a spectacular fashion. Those were the good old days when festival promoted love and communal solidarity. There was also a masquerade called Gbagbala, which was handled by 4 hefty men. It served as a means of social control and enforcer of justice. It was also a fantastic kind of performance, but the aim was to detect thieves and other antisocial elements. That was when the fear of Gbagbala was the beginning of wisdom. Theft and robbery cases were rare because of the instant judgment of Gbagbala. The pity now is that I hardly hear about the staging of the great Gbagbala festival nowadays. Festivity was not limited to the traditional alone. Christmas also entailed sumptuous communal feasting and general merriment. My father's house was a rallying point in our neighborhood. Having spent my early childhood in my native Salome, my parents moved from one town to another in the old western states until we ended up in Lagos. Lagos offered a unique city life experience. My family lived in Abule Babaegun off Apapa Road. I had my primary school education as an afternoon session pupil at Eleja Primary School, Ilogbo, Ebute Metta. As children, we also enjoyed urban communal life. We played local games like Suwe, Okoto, and Station. We watched major festivals like Gelede and Fanti. I'm not sure if such festivals are organized nowadays on such as elaborate scale as in the past, but they offered so much fun for boys and girls alike. Everyone practiced his or her own religion in an atmosphere of peace and coexistence. In the free hours between morning and afternoon school sessions, we formed a habit of visiting a famous dump site known as Orieru at Sofuntere Abulenla, Ebute Metta, to pick discarded items like refrigerators, air conditioners, fans, fluorescent lights, and industrial threads. In those days, there were no Tokumbo gadgets. People bought new products, and when they had a little fault, they dumped them at Orieru. We were little scavengers, and we had ready markets for them to make a few kobo for snacks. That was our own kind of adventure in Lagos. Of course, we also visited tourist attractions like SOJA Idumota, Tinubu Square, Racecourse, and that parade ground where a live soldier remained stationary for a long time as if it was a statue. We would observe him for about 30 minutes, hoping that he would move, but he wouldn't. It was an amazing sight. In our younger days, even up to my secondary school days at Ajay Comprehensive High School, Sabo Yaba, we would visit cinemas from Mushin to Casino. Even in my trip as a young adult to Calabar, we were on the road for 2 days. We had a stopover at Oron. We spent the night at the sprawling Oron beach and slept in the tent like European tourists to enjoy the splendor of the beach. There was no fear of kidnapping, bullying, or raping by miscreants. Now, looking at the present situation, I'm tempted to clamor for a recap of those beautiful good old days, when our society was relatively free and peaceful, when time-tested values ruled in every home, when it was a great honor to live within your honest means, when we were not defined by our race and religion, but by our attitude and dispositions. Regrettably, we cannot turn back the hand of the clock, but we can do something, recapture the virtues of old to shape a better and brighter future. We can bring up new and refreshing ideas and trends that take into consideration our value, past and merge with the current age of technology and development with a view of achieving peace, progress, and prosperity. We can have a cultural rebirth and a sound ethical orientation that will give our youth a better vision of a new day and a promising tomorrow that will outshine the good old days. We can do it. Yes, we can change the narrative. I therefore join Sir Shemo Rebadejo in this determined drive towards you a great and more promising future for not only our youth, but for us as well. Thank you.